The bike we're checking out today is crazy, man. Listen to these specs. It has a 4,000 watt peak hub drive motor that cranks out 170 newton meters of torque. Powering that thing is a 60 volt, 25 amp hour battery that they say can propel a small human up to 100 miles. But between you and me, with the way I ride a bike, we're probably gonna hover around the 30-ish mark. But we'll find out for sure when we take the bike outside for some real world tests. You can check out all the details on the brand new Tuttio ICT using the link in the description, or you can scan this QR code with your phone's camera. And don't forget, if you're gonna order one for yourself, I've got a discount code here to help you guys save a little extra. So while I top up the 60 volt 25 amp hour battery with the supplied 3 amp charger, let's take a close look at the brand new Tuttio ICT. And why don't we start with the beauty shots? And action! Let's start out back. The ICT rolls on a set of 20 by 4 inch wide off-road tires. Well, actually, looking at the tread here, it looks like more of a dual sport tire. The treads are nice and deep, so they'll dig into the dirt and sand, but they've got a nice smooth profile, so they'll stay nice and quiet on the road. For the drivetrain, the ICT's got your typical Shimano tourney derailleur. This is a 7-speed transmission. You get a 7-speed Shimano freewheel. And up front, you get a nice big chainring protected by a guard, some unbranded cranks, and some metal pedals. The ICT is a full suspension frame, and in the back, you get a big coil shock. Unfortunately, there's zero adjustments you can do to the shock, other than maybe winding the spring for preload. And up front for suspension, it's kind of the same story. You get a nice big inverted fork with a ton of travel, but the fork has zero adjustments, not even a lockout or a preload here on the left. You do, however, get a nice set of motocross style fenders. It's plastic up front and in the back. Moving up the frame here, you've got the nice big bench seat. Take a look at this thing. It's got a nice waterproof texture on it. It's got a nice waterproof texture on it, and it looks like it's got quite a bit of grip. And it's got a really nice, decent amount of cushion on here. This should be super comfortable. And the back here is actually really handy. Check this out. You get a nice handle back here to move the bike around in your garage. This makes it super easy to just pick the bike up and go. There's a massive cavity here in the down tube because this is where you put the huge 25 amp hour battery. So just like with the fenders, the ICT's got kind of a motocross vibe going. That's why they put a number plate here with the LED headlight integrated into it. We'll turn this on in just a sec, but first, let's take a look at the controls. Starting on the left, you get your grip, you get a remote for your lights and horn, and over here's the remote for the bike's computer. You get a plus and minus button to go up and down your pedal assist modes, and a power button here. And on the right, you get the same grip, but this is integrated into the full twist throttle. You get a nice key ignition here, which means you can only start this bike if you have the key. Nice safety feature. And over here's the 7-speed Shimano shifter. And check out the size of this display here in the middle. Let's pop the battery in and turn it on for just a sec. Okay, gonna hold the power button here. Whoa, man, look at this thing. Nice, bright, colorful display. Looks like you get your battery with voltage over here on the left. In the middle here, obviously, is your speedometer. You get your pedal assist modes here from 0 to 5. And the odometer here on the right. And it also looks like we can, ooh, look at this. You can actually change what is displayed here on the left and right. So you can kind of customize what you have access to. That's pretty nice. Okay, Tuttio ICT, let's see what the headlight looks like. Nice. So it's a bright projector style headlight with a really nice straight line up top. And this thing's actually got a pretty wide throw. Look at that. It should light up the whole road in front of us. Very nice. I was expecting something much dimmer. And looking at the back here, the bike's on, so there's no running daylights. But if we turn our headlights on, there you go, lights up nice and bright. Brake application. Get some extra red lights down here. And during the day, if we hit the brakes, there you go. Nice. And check out the brakes on this thing. These are massive 4-piston calipers biting onto 220 mil rotors. You get the same setup in the front and in the back too. And even the hydraulic brake levers look pretty beefy. Look at the size of this reservoir here for the DOT4 fluid. There's even a little window here so you can make sure there's always fluid inside your brake system. Nice. Let's see how fast we can get the motor spinning without any weight on it. Okay, let's lean the bike over, crank it. 49.5 miles an hour. We'll see how fast it goes with the real size human sitting on it. All right, I think I've seen enough. How about you guys? Let's take this thing outside and see if it rides just as good as the spec sheet. Good morning, boys and girls. Today's the first ride on the Tuttio ICT, and man, I can't wait to see how fast we can get on this thing. Now let's get one thing out of the way. I'm not here to sell you this bike. If this is the right bike for you, this bike will sell itself. My goal for the video is to give you guys all the info you need to make an educated decision. And I'm gonna do that with tests that you can see. You're gonna see how fast it goes, how well it climbs hills, how well it brakes, how fast it accelerates. You're gonna see everything. I couldn't bullshit you if I tried. Now you guys know what we do first. I've got a full battery, so let's do the hill climb. I always start right here at my fire hydrant, and up ahead is a 15% grade hill. It's really long, sustained, and it gives some bikes a pretty hard time. This thing though, I don't think it's gonna have any issues. So I got up to about 27 miles an hour just before the hill started. Man, this thing eats hills for breakfast. I haven't slowed down. 27 miles an hour uphill. Sustained. Wow. Man, they weren't kidding, man. This thing's got some power. Okay, let's head over to Test Drive Island and really let this thing stretch its legs. I'll see you guys over there. But just before we take it to Test Drive Island to see the true top speed on this Tuttio ICT, let's see how fast it accelerates. I always start right here at my lamp pole, and there's a driveway pullout just ahead. If I can get to 20 miles an hour with this bike, we got a fast bike. And if we don't, well, nah, it's gonna do it. 4,000 watts, right? You guys ready? 3, 2, 1, go. Woo! The front wheel just lifted. 21 already. Man, this thing has a lot of power. So today's my first ride on the ICT, and before we take it to 40 miles an hour, why don't we get used to it first? Maybe stick to pedal assist number 3. I'm gonna get a little bit of speed and just lean it over, just see what the tires are like for grip. Okay, 25 miles an hour, let's do it. Not bad at all. This bike's actually pretty long, so it's super stable. Nice. These tires feel like they have a ton of grip too. I don't think I've ever had these tires on any bike before. These are new to me. So far, so good. Woo! Okay, I've shown you how the ICT handles on really nice smooth roads. But what about when the road gets choppy? This part of the road is as bad as it gets, but you know what? I'm not worried at all. There's some big, deep potholes in there, but look, I've got so much suspension travel here, and the rear spring works really well so far. The bike's got kind of motocross vibes, right? So look at that. Look at this, like it's got a ton of travel. Same with the front. So let's go head on into some potholes and see how the bike handles that. Okay, here's our first pothole. Nothing. Just like riding a cloud. It's so nice to have that amount of travel. nothing at all. So the one thing with the suspension is that it doesn't have any settings, right? You can't really stiffen it up or slow it down for rebound or, you know, lock it out for compression. It really has zero adjustments. But, you know, I'm close to the 200-pound range and I can get perfect travel out of it. You know, if I'm bouncing on it, it's working very well. I can't really bottom it out. The front, now the front I probably could bottom out if I really pushed on it. Actually, let's try it. Yeah, so I can bottom out the front, no problems. But when you're sitting on it and it's just absorbing the bumps and it's tracking the ground, it's actually working really, really well. Time to find out how fast this thing goes. Now, on the website, they say it goes anywhere between 43 and 49. How fast do you guys think it's gonna go with a normal sized person on it? For reference, I'm 190 pounds, maybe 195 with all the gear I've got on, but this thing has 4,000 watts of power, right? So let's find out. I've got the GPS here to keep things honest. The bike speedometer here, we're gonna see how accurate they are, how close together they are. I'm in pedal assist and number 5. You guys ready? 3, 2, 1, go. Front wheel just picks up. Awesome. 30 miles an hour on the bike's computer already. GPS is catching up. 32, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38. All right, I couldn't get over 40 over here, but I felt a lot of headwind. So, hi puppy. Let's turn it around and we'll do the same thing going the other way. Maybe without the headwind, I can go a little faster. Let's see. Got 28 already. Let's duck. 37. 38. 39. Come on. No, 39 miles an hour is as fast as I can get the ICT going. Now, if you weigh as much as a little horse jockey, you might be able to get over 40 miles an hour with this thing, but normal size human, I got 39 today. So I don't know who or why some of you weirdos out there may want to pedal this thing, because it's obviously a bike that favors the throttle, but it does have a set of pedals, it's got gears. Let's see what it's like to pedal. I'm gonna start in pedal assist 0, which is no power at all. And I'm in the granny gear, gear number 1. Let's see what it's like to pedal. No fun. And it's actually super awkward. The ICT's got a nice low standover and the seat is super wide. So I feel all like bow-legged when I'm trying to pedal this thing. It's awkward, man. Okay, let's go to pedal assist 1. Drop some gears. Okay, pedal assist 1. It's obviously a cadence sensor on this thing. Takes me to 17 miles an hour. Woo, this thing's got power. Pedal assist 2. I'm at 23. Pedal assist 3. I'm at 30 miles an hour. I haven't touched the gears in a long time. Pedal assist 4. 35 miles an hour. Let's go. go, pedal assist 5. 37. 38. Oh man. So very similar performance, whether you're spinning the cranks or using the throttle. You're gonna get, or at least I'm gonna get, 38 to 39 miles an hour, top speed. So while we're out testing the pedal assist modes and the throttle here, let's do a test I really like to show you guys, because I feel it goes a long way for the bike to feel like it's just quality, you know? A lot of throttles out there and a lot of cadence sensors, they're just like an on-off switch. You have zero control over it. And that can lead to a pretty sketchy ride. So let's do this. I'm gonna go to pedal assist number 5, and I'm gonna try to just crawl along using the throttle. There you go. Just crawling at 10 miles an hour. Barely getting any power. And I maybe spun it like 1/8 of an inch. It's instant. But, you know, if you just need to crawl along, you're just gonna crack that throttle just a little bit, gives you a little bit of power. It's super manageable. And as you just wind it back, it just gives you more and more and more. It's so responsive. This is really nice. And the throttle power is instant. Watch this. Just instant power. Okay, so the throttle gets a 10 out of 10. That's as good as it gets for me. How about the pedaling? Okay, the pedaling's a little bit slower because I feel like it needs to see the crank spinning. Okay, I'm gonna pedal now. Power. Well, you guys can probably hear the power, right? So I'm gonna pedal now. Yeah. I'm gonna pedal now. So I have to spin the cranks 1.5 rotations for the bike to start giving me power at the set pedal assist mode, which it doesn't feel as good as a torque sensor. Obviously, those are gonna be really, really nice. But for a cadence sensor, I feel like this is probably the safest way to go. If it gave you power immediately, just moving the cranks would give you power, right? And like that could be kind of sketchy. The bike could take off on you if you weren't ready. So I see why they do that. But this bike's really not about pedaling it, right? It's about using this thing. Ow! Okay, so as we head over to take some beauty shots and set up for the braking test, I want to give you guys my first impression on the bike. And that's really just what I'm feeling, right? The overall build quality and you know, ride quality initially, right? Like I'm only 4 miles into this ride. So far, so good. The electronics are perfect for me. I have a ton of control with the throttle, and you guys know me, right? When I ride e-bikes, this is mostly what I like to use. I just like to ride them like little motorcycles, right? And the throttle works great. It's got a ton of power, it's got a ton of torque. The electronics on it are super good. The only thing I wish was a little bit different is the screen. The screen's a little bit dim. I mean, I know I've got sunglasses and all, but you know, it's a cloudy day. It's not that bright out, and I can barely see the display. I can see it, right? Like I know that I'm going 16 miles an hour. Hopefully maybe with you guys and the camera you can see it a little better, but you know, I can see the display. It's just not that bright. Next, the frame. The frame's pretty good. It's a little longer than I thought it would be. You know, usually e-bikes are kind of short, but this one's stretched out and it's got a short stem on it. So there's really nothing I could do to shorten the reach on it. But, you know, it's pretty good. I'm 5'9", I'm kind of in the middle, right? The standover on this bike is actually really low, right? I mean, I'm sitting on it, I can reach the ground flat-footed. I can't say that with 80% of the bikes out there. They're all really tall. So it's nice to see that the ICT's got a nice low standover. And once you get on, you know, it's roomy, right? I think that's probably the best word to describe it. The cockpit, right? Like where you stand, where you sit, where you grip, there's lots of room. Now, there are a couple of things you could do to shorten the reach. You could just lean the handlebars towards you, right? And at the same token, you could get a longer stem and, you know, push the handlebars back to get a longer reach if you've got really long arms. So I feel like a lot of different size people would have an easy time to get along with this bike, which is nice. And for build quality, I mean, so far so good. There's nothing that rattles on the bike. Everything works well. The brakes are perfectly adjusted right out of the factory. I didn't have to, you know, do anything to adjust them. You know, even if you've got very minimal mechanic experience, you're still gonna be able to dial this bike in and go for a ride the first day you get it. Man, I love it out here. This kind of looks like a Windows 7 background, right? Let's set up the brake test. Here's the marker I want to stop at, and I've got about a 20-foot distance to the first marker. This is where I'm gonna slam on the brakes going about 28 to 30 miles an hour with the ICT. Like I showed you guys inside the studio, I've got massive 200 mil rotors and big 4-piston hydraulic disc brakes. This is as good as it gets, right? The only thing I'm a little concerned, like you guys probably saw, there's a couple of wet spots in the road, but it's mainly dry. So the only unknown is how grippy these tires are. I don't think I've ever ridden these. And you know, they look like they've got a pretty decent tread. So let's put them to the test. I'm gonna turn around, get about 30 miles an hour and slam on the brakes. Now I know you guys saw the bike does go a little bit faster than 30 miles an hour, but 28 to 30 miles an hour is the speed that most electric bikes go. So just to keep things fair, and you know, we're really just testing brake performance here, right? So keeping the speed the same is kind of like my only way to show you guys from bike to bike to bike how the braking performance is. Let's get going. Woo! Okay, about 25 miles an hour, 28, 30, and brake. Oh my God. If I wasn't holding on strong to those handlebars, I would have gone right over the bike. This thing stops on a dime. Look at this. I still have probably a bike and a half left of space before that marker. That's insane. So for me, everything that's happening here as far as braking's concerned definitely gets a check mark for me. Nice work, guys. Okay, smooth roads, check. Rough roads, check. Time to take it off-road. So this thing has a lot of motocross influence, right? Motocross fenders, it's got a decent amount of travel, but it's kind of got dual sport tires, right? They're thick, the treads go pretty deep, but they're kind of smooth. I don't know how far they're gonna dig into the dirt or the sand. Let's find out. A little bit of a clunk there with the top out of the suspension. Ah! Nice. Can I jump it? Yeah. Little jump. Woo! Holy! We got a lot of beach today. Let's see how it does in the sand. You guys ready? Let's go! Man, they weren't kidding when they said 170 Newton meters of torque. This thing's like a little dirt bike. Woo, woo, woo. just drifted in the sand. This thing's crazy. I've never hit the brakes in the sand. Like, it's always just slowed down on its own. But man, this thing just rips. Oh man. Woo, woo, woo. Okay, that was a lot of fun. So I guess I can clearly say that this thing goes off-road too. So the suspension feels pretty good. I feel like it does do a decent job of tracking the ground, and it's definitely comfortable. The only thing I wish it kind of had was some rebound adjustment, right? Like you guys heard, every time I'd hit a bump, the fork would just spring up and just clunk out, right? Like this, right? So as far as off-road performance goes, it definitely has the power. Tires definitely have the grip. The only thing I wish would be a little bit higher end is the suspension. But you can't ask for everything with a $1,500 bike, right? Right, so I want to take 2 minutes and talk about bike and ride quality now that I've got a really good idea of what this bike's all about. And let's start with the contact points. The grips are okay, maybe 6 out of 10. They're not the softest rubber out there. They're actually kind of stiff and a little bit plasticky, right? They don't really feel like rubber, they feel like more plastic. You know, grips are grips, but when it comes to holding the throttle, right, having a little bit more grip would have been a little nicer, in my opinion. The pedals are decent. They're metal pedals, and they've got a decent amount of grip. Obviously, 20-30 bucks on Amazon can get you a much nicer set of pedals with some nice metal pins in there to really grip the bottom of your feet, but they'll do the trick. And the seat. This seat, come on. This thing is so comfortable. It's nice, it's wide, it's cushy. If you're shorter, you can sit near the front. If you're taller, you can sit near the back and get a bit more reach. I love this seat, man. I've been on this bike for a good hour now, and there are 0 pressure points. My bum gets along with this seat very nicely. Like I touched on earlier, I think the frame is a decent one size fits most, right? It's got a nice low standover, so if you're, 5'5" or a little bit shorter, you can probably still easily get onto it, touch the ground. I can reach the ground flat-footed, and I'm 5'9", so the tough thing with moped-style e-bikes like this one is that you really can't adjust the height of the seat, so it kind of needs to just fit most, right? It's got a decent amount of reach. Like I said, it feels kind of roomy, and overall I think the frame just feels sturdy. It just feels solid, right? This bike's meant to be ridden off-road and meant to be ridden pretty rough, so that's how they built it. The brakes are perfect. I give these, a solid 9 out of 10. The only reason why I take a point off the brakes is for this. The levers are big and clunky, and they have no adjustment. Most brake levers will have a little screw that you can adjust, and you can bring the lever in if you have small hands, right? With these ones, you can adjust them. The way they are is the way they are, and they're pretty far out there. So, braking with one finger is actually pretty hard. But overall, as far as performance go, I think they really nailed it. They put the right brakes on the right bike. The suspension's okay, maybe a 7 out of 10. I feel like it works well. It definitely makes the ride comfortable. The only thing it doesn't have, though, is settings, right? You can't stiffen it up by adding more air. It has no rebound, no lockout. So what you get is what you get. If you're in the 200-pound range, you're going to get, very good performance out of the shocks. But if you're any lighter, maybe you'll get a stiffer ride, right? And if you're heavier than I am, well, you're probably going to bottom this out pretty easily. So kind of wish they had a suspension package with a little bit of adjustment on here. The tires are great. you know, we took it off-road on the beach. It definitely linked up with the dirt. It linked up with the sand. It threw sand everywhere, which is a lot of fun. And on the road, they've got a ton of grip. So no problems with these tires. I think I'll see these tires on a lot of other bikes going forward. And finally, the electronics. Guys, this bike is a ton of fun to ride, and it starts with the throttle. It's super responsive. It's immediate power. The throttle's manageable too, right? I can just crack it a little bit and get a little bit of power. This makes the bike super easy to control, right? If you have to weave in and out of people or, you know, around gates and things like that, you don't have to go full out with the power. That's really nice when you have 4,000 watts of power available to you. You guys saw how fast it goes, how well it climbs hills. This thing's got a lot of power, man. And the screen, well, look, the screen I can see. Right? I've got the sun right over my shoulder right now, and I can see the screen. I just wish it was a little bit brighter. But I say that about most screens, right? So I'm kind of bitching about the same thing. Okay. Range report. I've just hit the 15-mile mark and I still have 3 battery bars out of 5. So, like I said earlier in the video, this bike ridden hard with the throttle at full power with me sitting on it is probably going to be in the 30-mile mark. You know, can I squeeze 40 out of it? Probably, right? If I can get 15 out of 2 battery bars, I can probably get to 30 and then just limp to 40 with the last battery bar. But I'm not going to be going full speed, that's for sure. And most of the time, batteries on the last battery bar will limit the power just to save themselves, right? So look, just like I say, you have to be realistic with range, and there's so many different factors involved when it comes to figuring out how far one battery can take you. Right? This is 25 amp hours, and my rule of thumb is that you can get anywhere between 1 to 1.5 miles per amp hour that you have. But that's worst case scenario, right? That's riding throttle only, full power. If you notch it down, or even better yet, if you put in some pedal power yourself, you're gonna be able to increase that range quite a bit. But where's the fun in that? So, $1 million question. Who's the Tuttio ICT really for? Well, for one, it's going to be for a thrill junkie. This bike has a ton of power. It goes fast. It doesn't go as fast as they say on the website, but you know, maybe if I lost 100 pounds and I had a tailwind and we were going downhill, and maybe I can get 40 miles an hour. But I got 39, close enough. But the overall torque this motor is able to give you, the speed, just the power that you feel when you really crank on that throttle, it's addicting, man. It's so much fun. The suspension's decent. You know, it's got a decent amount of travel, which is nice. You know, it can definitely ride on some rougher trails. If you like going exploring, riding back roads on mountains, things like that, you're not going to ride any Black Diamond mountain bike trails with this, that's for sure. Go and explore fire roads on mountains, things like that, this thing will definitely take you there. I really feel like a lot of people can jive with this bike. It's got a nice low standover. So even if you're on the shorter side, you can definitely fit on this bike. It's got a really nice low standover, and it's got a roomy cockpit. So even if you're taller than I am, you're gonna get along with this, no problems. I really feel like for the, you know, $1,500 to $2,000 mark, this hits the sweet spot. It's got the same amount of torque and power as the Wired Freedom and Wired Cruiser, but for less money and in a more off-road centric type of package, right? This thing just looks like a little mini dirt bike. So if the Tuttio ICT sounds like it's the perfect bike for you, check out the link in the description, or you can scan this QR code with your phone's camera. That'll take you right to their website, and check out my description because I've got a discount code there that can save you some extra money. And if the Tuttio ICT is not the perfect bike for you, that's okay. Maybe the bike in this video will be more what you're looking for. See you over there.